Hello there, welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff happening in the VTuber world. Today we talk about the Aster Arcadia leaks. Basically what happened was a Nijisanji VTuber, goes by the name of Twisty, accused her co-worker, Aster Arcadia, of being sexually inappropriate towards some of the female VTubers. You can see the Nijisanji VTuber here complaining that she had a mental breakdown, and it was because Aster was saying that he wanted to fly her out to Japan and said weird sexual shit. The Nijisanji VTuber also confirmed that Aster was sex pesting her friends, and that she also went to management regarding his behavior, but they wouldn't even speak to him or confront him regarding what he had done. So the VTuber was actually considering graduating after this. And so today we'll be taking a look at a couple of Discord DMs. Basically what happened is the Nijisanji VTuber actually told one of her fans to leak certain pieces of information regarding Aster Arcadia's sexual behavior to a drama tuber so they could expose him. And these DMs are basically the conversations between the Nijisanji VTuber, who's alleged to be Twisty Amakano from Nijisanji Ian, as well as a fan who's responsible for leaking the information to Falseeyed. It was only much later that the Nijisanji VTuber would speak to Falseeyed, because initially it was basically the fan telling Falseeyed what was happening. We also have Falseeyed's DMs in this leak as well. So let's take a look at what she has to say regarding Aster Arcadia. We begin with K626, saying, I'm guessing this has been a dream for a while. Literally since we met. Every time she convinced me to join a dogshit company, I was like, it's okay, I'll suffer through Lamau. We have K626 saying, well, I'm glad you're still working towards it at least. We have the Nijisanji VTuber saying, yeah, when I say give up. K626 saying, that's all that really matters. We have the Nijisanji VTuber saying, I didn't mean like entirely, it's not fair to my community or me honestly to stay how it is. I wanted it to work out so bad, but they just aren't taking our needs seriously. There is a concert thing announced today. Her wave didn't get to join, and it makes me so sad because Japanese waves after her joined, they just don't care about English streamers. K626 saying, I can't claim to understand, but I hope that you eventually get out of this mess. The stuff you told me about your coworkers still pisses me off till this day. Hasn't left my mind. We have the Nijisanji VTuber saying, yeah, that's another issue. I try to just ignore it because there's nothing I can do. We have K626 saying, I'm just happy you have a real friend in she, like having someone you trust is important. And she's been through all the same problems you have, not to be weird, but when you told me, I looked up who it was and like instantly saw his face. This annoyed me more, to be honest. The Nijisanji VTuber replying, yeah, that's why I blocked him. And now we have K626, the Twisty fan, complaining about Aster Arcadia, saying, like, I don't know where someone gets off acting like that, especially since you were only there for like, what, a month? Fucking creep, man. Probably doesn't understand jokes or something. Or maybe he's really just a weirdo. We have the Nijisanji VTuber saying, no, he's just a manipulative weirdo. We have K626 saying, it just surprised me because I expected him to look different, I guess. He's just your average Asian league player, referring to Aster. We have the Nijisanji VTuber saying, oh, like IRLK, I don't know what he looks like. We have K626 responding saying, yeah, bro, he's just some Asian guy. I was shocked, like I found it, and I can't creep for my life. We have the Nijisanji VTuber saying, yeah, pretty much, everyone is doxxed or has stuff up. K626 saying, is that why you didn't care when I asked about personal stuff? The VTuber saying, well, my stuff isn't, but I don't really care in general. And now we have the Nijisanji VTuber saying, it's hard to schedule, and my sleeps are always fucked up. But if I'm alone on stream, I just feel like I'm going to cry. K626 continues, but why? The VTuber replies, I don't know, just everything. You've said this before. The VTuber replies, it feels like stuff keeps getting worse. It's like constant hits to my heart. I just don't feel appreciated, not by you guys, but it's like K626 says, I know. We have the Nijisanji VTuber saying, I'm here and I get a lot of shit for being here, right? But the trade-off is supposed to be support, which I get none of. All of my friends in smaller companies get tons of money, events, etc., salary. We have K626 saying, do you still think you could never join a small company after this? The VTuber replies saying, people are quitting left and right. I wouldn't. It's not worth it, like, they're not exactly happy either. There are problems everywhere, but I would say they are worse here. Referring to Nijisanji, K626 continues saying, I hope it ends soon, then honestly, I'll miss her. She's my first and last. But it's pretty clear she's sad. We have the Nijisanji VTuber saying, shut the fuck up. Don't say last. He will come back better. A626 responds, we'll see. Kind of crazy to hear all of this because I feel like Twitter recommends me a new VTuber every day, like there are so many. The Nijisanji VTuber comments, I've noticed lately a lot of people are just done with companies, even if they pay well. It always sucks not having 100% creative control. A626 replies, I can imagine you think people will stick around after. Like not just fans, but like people she's hung out with. The Nijisanji VTuber confirms, I'd say probably. I know that close friends will. That's all that matters. A626 responds, yeah, I'm sure the girls will. It's true. The Nijisanji VTuber replies, to be honest, the only people I talk to are like Hex, Sweaty, Karuva, and Relia. A626 responding, saying, I mean, it's sweet that they all keep up with you. I hope they hang out more when things are different. Same for fans. The VTuber would say, I think the fans don't matter. Obviously, I hope they do, but corpo fans prefer like content inside the box. So it's not really expected for them to all follow. So I try not to be like upset if anyone doesn't want to keep up because I know it won't be exactly the same. A626 responds, of course not, but I'd still be a little sad. I didn't realize at the time that everyone watches someone else. It was kind of surreal finding out when I was in the disc. So I guess you're probably right. VTuber says, I think that as an indie, like I am confident in my marketing skills. We have someone, probably Frank or K626, asking, by the way, were you actually big on your old streams? Like the one you sent? We have the Nijisanji VTuber replying, no, I barely streamed. I mainly streamed on Pomf to like 100 viewers, which to be honest, for the website, it was big. I was well liked and the biggest streamer there, but like actually big, no. If it's possible, I prefer gift contributions through Throne, just because every artist is different and the commissions process is really long and annoying. We have K626 responding, asking Pomf. The VTuber explains that it's basically Twitch for lollies. K626 saying, that weird-ass website? Yeah, literally, said the VTuber. I could not click on any other streams, by the way. They're all disgusting. It's like diaper furry shit. A626 asking, isn't that where VR chat freaks go? I know. We have the Nijisanji VTuber saying, that's what I was. I started on Twitch, but people kept getting naked, screaming the N-word. And I was like, I'm fucked. And someone suggested it. We have K626 responding, saying, I guess Throne works too. It's for you and your friend, like you guys are buying together. The VTuber replies, yeah, but it's very skewed, cause she's covering like her model, etc. But things like, yeah. We have K626 asking, not to get too deep, but do you think this will be your career for the long haul? Like, do you see the playing games /Discord /creeps /streaming /staying inside being your life in like 5 or even 3 years? The VTuber replies, Discord won't stay. I intend to stream until I die though. I don't trust my wife with Discord. She will get groomed. Same with staying inside. Even when I wasn't like as mentally ill, I just really didn't enjoy going outside. If it's to be like hanging out with friends or going shopping or going to concerts, etc., I don't mind. But like a stroll through the park? No way. A626 asked, is Discord that bad? I only use it for friends. Yours and the fan one were the only times I ever interacted in one. And now we reach the section where the Nijisanji VTuber is complaining about people bullying Rosemi, which is a fellow Nijisanji VTuber. He starts with, bro, I STG, it's so hard to force myself to stream and not be depressed, especially when people say stuff like this, showing a screenshot which says, Rosemi, what are your thoughts on the Knicks trading for the big purr? Do you think this was a good move in the long run? A626 responds, stream slayed, and I'm sure he didn't mean anything negative, but I get your point. I guess maybe the corporate audiences just aren't for you. The Nijisanji VTuber saying, they literally just hate me. There is no other explanation. A626 said, if corporate audiences are even a thing, but like, the VTuber cuts him off, Rosemi's fans would never do that shit to her. A626 asking, why? What's there to hate? I never watched her, but I don't know. I guess maybe I just don't understand the point of the message. Like, it's definitely rude, but I assume they're just poking fun at her. Maybe I'm too optimistic. The VTuber just said, no. They literally just want her to kill herself. The entire chat is Rosemi memes. A626 freaking out. Seriously? Recently? I really wouldn't know, but she is really popular, right? Like, they showed me a video once, and I didn't really get it. The VTuber confirms it's basically blue Rosemi, similar designs. A626 asking from regulars? The VTuber replies, yeah, literally spamming Rosemi memes since the start, redacted. You can see it when Rosemi streams. A626 asked, that aside, I get why it's upsetting, but is there no way to, bring it up to them? And I'm sorry, I've never really noticed, to be honest. I didn't hear about Rosemi until months after I started watching her. The VTuber said they DC. A626 said they should. They're watching her. He has feelings. He's her own person. Why not stop to think how she feels? The VTuber responds, because you're not a person, you're anime. A626 responding, I get that, but she should be allowed to say something. She'd have to be super safe with her words, but I'd like to think people might actually understand her POV. The Nijisanji VTuber responds, they don't care, there's no point, it's just malicious. The K626 says, I guess I just don't understand, especially since it's from regulars. Depressing. Seemed like everything was fine today at least. I'm glad, unless I missed something in the past hour. The Nijisanji VTuber now talks about herself. For me, it's just hard to be streaming long hours or I don't know, psych myself up to start streaming. A626 said, I understand, you've got a lot going on, not to mention you're still young as hell. I know I shit on you, but working a corporate job at your age is a lot, even if it isn't the stereotypical kind. The Nijisanji VTuber says, thank you, I appreciate it. And now we reach the section where A626 is freaking out because the Nijisanji VTuber was harassed. A626 saying, I thought they don't fucking fire people, I was under the assumption it literally can't happen. The VTuber responds, if you do something bad enough. A626 argues, but you are unironically a victim, fuck them, you did nothing wrong at all. Why are we even scared? They treat you like shit. Some creep harasses you. The VTuber said, well, I don't really care, but A626 said, you get fired? Make that make sense. Nijisanji VTuber said, there is a chance she dies, so A626 said, chance is better than what you said before. I just don't know how anyone could view you negatively after hearing this. The VTuber shoots that down. It doesn't really matter. A626 argues, you actually did nothing wrong. The Nijisanji VTuber would say, I did leak stuff, so I did do something wrong, which is fireable. A626 is freaking out. Wrong to admit you were harassed? In what world is that wrong to the company? I get, but they have to know that it will make them look horrible. The Nijisanji VTuber saying they don't really care. A626 is enraged. They will look fucking soulless. The Nijisanji VTuber would say that's why it's 50-50. They either ignore it or fire me. A626 swears, fuck. VTuber responds, and double down or fire him. A626 asked, double down? VTuber believes it is unlikely. A626 admitting fire him would happen in a perfect world. Praying for that? He fucking deserves it. The Nijisanji VTuber says it won't happen. A626 is still freaking out. But firing her is likely? In what world? How will people react to that? Yeah, we fired the poor girl that got harassed by one of our other talents. Really a great look for a company. I don't want her to go. Referring to the Nijisanji VTuber. Not yet, man. I refuse to believe the worst will happen. The Nijisanji VTuber rejects that notion, saying, I don't know, I just think, be prepared for the worst. And now we go back to the past for a little bit because the Discord DMs are not arranged in the correct date or order. And this was 2 days ago. This was on the 28th of October. Previously, it was the 30th of October. Now we are on the 28th. We just went back to the past. And the Nijisanji VTuber is explaining something regarding her VTuber model. She says, not for the model, however. A626 responding, the person you sent me before was $4,000. The Nijisanji VTuber said, my friend spent $30,000 on his. A626 freaks out. What the fuck? The VTuber saying, I'm not that dumb. A626 says, does it look nice? The Nijisanji VTuber saying, it's Kyrio. I'm in-game or I'd send. My model is $2,300 for art and probably $6,000 in total. A626 is mind-broken, saying it looks smooth, but $30,000 is fucking insane. Now we have Twisty, doom posting about the company Nijisanji. He says, okay, I'm out of game. Basically, things are doomed. The small issues pile up and there are no changes. Every time someone leaves, that is another hit that drags the reputation down. I only even joined in the first place because I wanted to try and earn money so I could take care of my wife, referring to Shinua, and give her what she deserves. But obviously that didn't work out. It just sucks because I can't play games I want to play. I can't sing songs or do covers. Low-key, every time you mention Class of 09, I get tilted, Lamau, because that is something I wanted to do even before you asked. But it's just not possible. A626 is confused. Wife? The VTuber responds, she knows. Chinoa, I don't think we collabed when you were around. Mina. A626 is confused. I don't know who that is. Oh, the Nijisanji VTuber would say, I've made up my mind and this is like why. The Nijisanji VTuber shares a post, rather a link, to a VTuber called Shinua CH. The Nijisanji VTuber saying her. If I say wife, this is probably who I'm referring to, even though I call every girl my wife. A626 is baffled. Oh, but support her? I'm confused. Are you not both working? The Nijisanji VTuber reveals a few things. He's in school. Support her, VTuber-wise. A626 responds, oh. The VTuber would say, like, I want to help her with streaming and stuff. A626 responds, I get you. The Nijisanji VTuber responds, I don't know if I talked about it in detail that much, but she is the girl that I met in a company and we continuously got fucked over by companies, so I feel bad. Okay, let's just take a look at Shinua's channel. So this is the Nijisanji VTuber's wife. Okay, so this is Shinua. Hey, a very small VTuber. What's this? Oh, she's collabed with Twisty. And if you scroll down... Oh, Valorant with my wife. At Twisty Amakano, Valorant. Okay, so there is a relationship between Twisty and Shinua. I didn't know that. We have K626 saying, I'm guessing this has been a dream for a while. The Nijisanji VTuber responds, literally since we met. Every time she convinced me to join a dogshit company, I was like, it's okay, I'll suffer through Lamau. Okay, we've seen this screenshot previously. Like I said a while ago, this entire leak is not properly arranged in the correct order. There are actually duplicate posts as well. We need to scroll down to find the correct one. We have the Nijisanji VTuber saying, I don't care either way. Like, I really don't want to leave. But A626 says, I know. VTuber says, sometimes you need to do things that are like, I can't be permabagging for food money every month. A626 is a little shocked. You really do that? I thought you were joking. I only saw the Discord messages. But I understand. Do what you have to do. I mean, like it or not, you need money to survive. Okay, so we've jumped back in time to September, basically the previous month. We have the Nijisanji VTuber saying, no, like, unironically, like before he'd buy me stuff off Throne, or like, if I wanted stupid shit, but I feel really bad, like, that he has a fucking fund, the Mao, to save money for me. A626 responds, damn, I don't know what to say, I feel bad, but like, what you have planned, honestly. Like, you've got to know this is such an awkward job to be successful in, referring to the VTuber industry. The Nijisanji VTuber says, planned how so? I mean, you don't need to be like A626 tries to do some damage control. I'm sure you'll always have hardcore fans. Nijisanji VTuber says, you don't need to be like super successful to make a living, honestly. The Nijisanji VTuber reveals, because I don't know, like, for example, Patreon was really a big source of income for me, because hundreds of people, like, gave me $5 a month. And that means a lot more than thousands, but I get 50%. The 50% probably referring to the amount of money she gets from Nijisanji. We have K626 asking, right, are you not allowed to have one now? No, right? But I was thinking like furnished house, car, able to eat food every day and travel once in a while, a normal life. The Nijisanji VTuber confirms, no. I mean, I don't travel. All my expenses are VTubing related. I don't really care about anything else. A626 asked, but you want to go to Japan, right? The VTuber responds, maybe League and my Oshis. Not really. I would go do off collabs with people who live there, but Japan is pretty cheap. Like A626 said, but the ticket. VTuber said, maybe $3,000 for the trip. It's like $800. A626 asked, and are those really your only expenses? Like, come on, be serious. What about food or other utilities? The Nijisanji VTuber explains, I mean, like, for fun stuff, right? Like, I don't pay rent, but I pay for food because nothing's ever in a fridge. I don't drive or leave the house, especially if I leave the West Coast. Prices get way cheaper. A626 says, I'm similar. You literally call out my mom driving me, but like, you know, the future is a thing. The Nijisanji VTuber said, driving is scary, and K626 agreed. The VTuber confirms, I will never drive. A626 asked, sure, but what about when you do have those expenses, even without the car? VTuber says, I mean, most people can live off like $5,000 a month, for example, right, depending on where you live. A626 comments, $5,000 is a lot per month. VTuber would say, yeah, like honestly, even less is doable, especially if not the West Coast. A626 chimes in, true. And now we reach a section where the VTuber from Nijisanji is panicking about how the company will know it was her who leaked like the secret pieces of information regarding Aster Arcadia to the DramaTubers. And this is the 6th of November. Around this time, like, no video has been leaked yet. Nothing has been leaked yet because, if I remember correctly, the first video which discussed the Nijisanji leaks was Salvi's video, and it was on the 21st of November. These DMs are from the 6th of November, so I think the Nijisanji VTuber is kind of regretting that she made the leaks available, I guess. The Nijisanji VTuber says the company will know it's me. A626 says, I just don't get why this has to be your fault. Like, I understand you did nothing wrong. This wouldn't have happened if not for him and them. The Nijisanji VTuber says, I broke NDA. A626 reasons, again, can that really be proven? Like, if they had to give a real reason for termination, there has to be real proof, right? Besides, the words of some guy on YouTube, like, okay, people believing because of hate is one thing, but being terminated from a job over a rumor is something completely different. The VTuber would say, they can prove it. It's like very, very obvious. Okay, this is pretty strange. I don't understand, like, why are they so worried after they leaked information to a drama tuber? Like, the video hasn't come out yet, so why are they freaking out? Do they not trust the drama tuber they contacted? Like, what's happening, right? Okay, let's go down. And we have the false ID DMs. Before we go through this, I just want to explain. So what happened is that Twisty didn't actually, reach out to false ID directly. What happened was Twisty explained what was happening to a fan. And that fan right here, this Frank guy, this was the guy who talked to false ID initially. We have false ID saying, it's also late here. Thank you for reaching out. When you have time this week, would you like to jump on a call or would you just prefer text for now? And by the way, this conversation is from October 1st, 2 whole months before False ID made his video calling out Aster. And we have Frank, this is one of Twisty's fans, who's been talking to her all this time, and he's the one responsible for talking to False ID. Frank would say, either it's fine with me, let me know what day or time you're free. False would say the soonest would be for 1 hour starting at Wednesday, October 2nd, 2024, 2:30 p.m. or anytime longer after Wednesday, October 2nd, 2024, 8 p.m. Frank would say 8 p.m. is fine, enjoy your night. It is now October 2nd, 2024. False ID would say hello again, just reaching out to see if you are available to talk. Frank responds, sure, whenever you're ready. False would say okay, calling. And you can see here the call lasted for 1 hour around 8 p.m. Call has ended. And now we have a time skip. From October 2nd, 28 days have passed and we are now at the end of October. We are on October 30th, 2024. That is the date. And Frank is having some misgivings. He doesn't want false ID to cover the things he said regarding Aster. Or maybe it's something else. We have Frank saying, hey, I don't know if you still intend to cover this, but I just wanted to say that I would appreciate it if you kept everyone involved anonymous if you do. At the end of the day, I feel this girl is more of a victim than anything. And while I want these issues to be heard, I really don't want her to go through anything bad because of this going public. Thank you for your time and for listening before. And then we have false ID saying, to be 100% open and honest, I'm leaning towards keeping her anonymous and angling more on Aster. I appreciate you keeping her position and health in mind, and I hope you do keep her anonymous. False ID would then confirm that he's lining up the video to be released around the 7th of November. Thank you for your patience. And that was not the end of the conversation. You can see false ID replies on about 1 p.m. and Frank would come back around 4 p.m. to say something completely different. Frank would say, hey, I'm sorry to come back to this again, but is there any way you can leave out the fact that this is in between coworkers? I'm genuinely worried the girl might get fired and that's the last thing I want to happen to her after she's been through so much. Dude, it's a little late for that. Nijisanji has already put out a statement saying they're going to investigate the unauthorized information leakage to outside parties. Okay? And I'm not saying I agree with them. I'm saying they should have only focused on the issues of sexual harassment, which is what the investigation will include. But the fact that they said the investigation would cover both the issues of sexual harassment and the unauthorized information leakage to outside parties means like both Aster and Twisty are basically in trouble. So 2 weeks before False ID's video was released, these DMs were already leaked. So yeah, people basically know it's Twisty. It's too late. Both of them are screwed. Let's just continue. Frank would say, if anything, can you claim this information is from an independent source? He has done the same thing with many other indie talents to my knowledge. I'm afraid that it being known that it's between coworkers will defeat the purpose of it being anonymous. Frank, I'm sorry, but the false ID thumbnail that explains this whole situation is basically Nijisanji EN versus Nijisanji EN. So people know it's about accusations between the Nijisanji coworkers. It's too late, Frank. Everyone's screwed now. And now we move on to a conversation that happened 15 minutes before Frank started making demands towards false ID. Apparently Frank, or rather Idiot, I guess he's using multiple aliases, I guess we're going to call him Idiot now. So Idiot is actually having a conversation with the Nijisanji VTuber, and so the VTuber is saying, so what's he like? What's his YouTube? The Idiot would say, gotta look, I don't really know him, and Idiot shows literally a link of False ID's YouTube channel. Idiot would say he was the first person that popped up, and immediately the Nijisanji VTuber would say, yeah, you're fucked. Idiot is freaking out, saying, no way, how? The Nijisanji VTuber would say, high chance of her death. Idiot would say, no fucking way. The Nijisanji VTuber, alleged to be Twisty, would say, you chose the biggest grifter possible. Idiot is now freaking out further. Grifter? Oh my god, it's now 4 p.m. and immediately after this conversation, he literally, like Idiot and Frank are basically the same person, and Idiot basically goes and asks False ID to do some damage control. Oh my god. Okay, we have a time skip, and now it's the 18th of November. An Idiot, who's also Frank, would say, hey, I appreciate you telling Twisty about the emails because I honestly forgot about them and don't have access to it, since it was a burner email. She deserves to know the whole story even if she ended up confirming that all those screenshots really were her in the process. I don't appreciate you claiming that it felt like I wanted you to make an expose when I literally said the opposite, but I don't blame you for feeling that way considering all the evidence I gave you. Anyway, the reason I'm contacting you this time is to just let you know that the last few messages I sent were on her behalf and not entirely how I felt. At this point, I really could not care less about any of this. Do whatever you want with the evidence. He claimed you were a grifter, and to be honest, I don't know the first thing about you, so maybe she's right. But you seemed mature and thoughtful enough to me when we talked. My point is, do what you want with what I've given you. Delete it, save it, use it. I am just so tired of all of this. We won't be communicating again, but I'd like to thank you for even listening in the first place. Good luck with your career and everything, genuinely. And then we have a screenshot, I think. Hold on, let me just enlarge this. Okay, we have the Nijisanji VTuber speaking. This is on the 30th of October, around 4:30 p.m. This was after Frank made some demands to False ID, saying that he'd like False to make some changes, and the Nijisanji VTuber is saying, you cannot reason with a grifter, referring to False ID, who only wants money. Frank would say, when we talked, he was talking about how he feels bad, how it's important to get these things out. I just saw he was the biggest guy, so I assumed he was cool. The Nijisanji VTuber refutes this argument. No, he's the biggest grifter. No, he makes random shit up to shit on Niji. Frank would say, I've never heard of him until this month. I just copied and pasted. ? It was just a burner email. That's literally why I haven't. The Nijisanji VTuber cuts it off. The Nijisanji VTuber cuts him off. It's like 10,000 pages long. It would be like 1,000 screenshots, but that is word for word what was said, along with a bunch of screenshots of Drino's Twitter. Okay, this is getting worse. Okay, now it's 4:12 p.m. Still on the 30th of October. The Nijisanji VTuber saying, so ask him to say it was an anonymous indie gave him this info. Frank would say, okay, anything else? The Nijisanji VTuber would say, and that supposedly he, referring to Aster, was doing it to other livers. If he frames it as it comes from inside, everyone will know it's me, 100%. Frank would say, understood. I will phrase it right now. Unless you want me to copy-paste something, I looked up VTuber news and picked the first person. And then there's an argument with the Nijisanji VTuber who says, but personal information about them? How would that help? Okay, now we have a time skip to the 6th of November, and the Nijisanji VTuber is talking now. Basically, it's been a week since they started freaking out that the fans sent information to False ID. The Nijisanji VTuber is saying, hey, sorry to spring this on you, but I was just made aware that what I talked about was supposed to be kept between just me and the talent. I was never given permission to spread this information and would really appreciate it if you didn't report on it, since it can negatively affect my friend. Thank you for hearing me out. Say this. And then Frank would say, that's way too honest, but I will if you want. The Nijisanji VTuber would say, I think it's the best shot. Frank would say, hi, I would like to state that I didn't have permission to talk about this with you and you don't have permission to use these screenshots. I apologize for, okay, it gets cut off, and then it's replaced by a screenshot of something that ends with the word D. Give me the emails, you Aster, NT, don't really understand. I wonder what that means. Okay, so what can we understand from this? Basically, the Nijisanji VTuber perhaps felt a little regret that certain things will leak to False ID. And from what she said above, apparently she wants False ID to try not to talk about the leaks. Okay, that's kind of messed up. Okay, and now we scroll down and we can see Twisty here. We can see, what the hell is this? What is this? Is a League of Legends something? Hold on, let me make it smaller so you can see. What is this? Guys, can you guys understand what this is? I can't tell what this is. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, this was the screenshot that False ID showed in his video. Okay. So this is basically the Discord screenshot. Okay. And apparently, this is proof that Twisty was the one who leaked information to the drama tuber, I guess. Okay. I don't play League of Legends, so I can't really tell how this specifically would reveal that Twisty is the one who leaked information to False ID, but it's here. Or maybe this was shown to False ID, right? To show him that the leak was actually legitimate. And this is proof that, okay, the person you're talking to has access to Twisty. Okay. I understand now. Okay, apparently there's a video playing of League of Legends. Guess I'll put it in later.
The lucky personage can... Frank. Like a Frankfurter. Like a New York. I ordered New York style pizza last night. It was very pizza-like.
Okay, we've reached a different part of the Discord DMs. And this was what I was talking about earlier. There was a point in the DMs where the Nijisanji VTuber, Twisty, was so angry at her fan because apparently False ID told her that the fan that he wanted False ID to make an expose video or something. And this is Twisty being mad. Before we continue, I just want to say there's actually one single person using multiple usernames. There's a guy called K626. There's a guy called Frank. There's a guy called Idiot. There's a guy called Frank X Idiot. And all of them are the same person, I think. Well, at least I believe Frank Idiot and Frank X Idiot are the same people. As for K626, I'm not quite sure. He's basically the fan who's been talking to Twisty all this time, right? And I just want to say, some parts of the DMs are not arranged in the correct order. So I'll try to rearrange them so they make sense. Okay? I'll try my best. And this part of the DMs is basically the Nijisanji VTuber confronting her fan who she thought was her ally. And apparently she's mad that the fan that she trusted actually told False ID to expose her or something. So that means right now, on the 15th of November, the Nijisanji VTuber is very angry at Frank X Idiot. The Nijisanji VTuber would say, "Why did you lie to me?" Frank would say, "Wait, you're so cute. About?" Nijisanji VTuber would say, "Like everything." Frank is clueless. He asks, "Everything?" And the Nijisanji VTuber reveals, False has showed me all the emails you sent him. It was not just Aster. But I really don't understand why you hate me that much. We have Frank saying, "I don't remember what I sent, to be honest, and if I hated you, I wouldn't send you money. That was 2 months ago. I'm glad he didn't post the stuff though." Okay, obviously Frank is saying that he's glad that False ID didn't post the video because he promised to release a video regarding Aster Arcadia, exposing him on the 7th of November. But currently, because it's on the 15th of November, it's basically okay, he's not gonna make the video right now, right? Obviously, we are from the future, so we know that False ID actually releases the video in December. But right now, the Nijisanji VTuber doesn't know that yet. So Frank is saying that he's glad that False ID hasn't posted the video because right now it's the 15th of November, 2024, and False ID promised to post the video on the 7th of November. So he didn't post the video. The Nijisanji VTuber would say, "That just doesn't make sense to me though. I really don't think it's possible to go from saying those things to everything just being okay." Frank would ask, "What was it? I sent it from a burner." And now we have Frank saying, "And either way, I fully understand if it made you uncomfortable. I don't blame you if you cut me off. I will still support you if you need it, obviously. Just wanted to say that before you block or unfriend." The Nijisanji VTuber would say, I just want to understand why. Like, seriously, I don't get it. Were you just upset with me? Or Frank would say, Dell, referring to Twisty's past life. Frank would say, Dell, it was like, 2 months ago? I genuinely can't tell you. If I was mad, I wouldn't have gifted or tried to cheer you up or listened or anything. The Nijisanji VTuber would shoot back, saying 2 months ago is not that long. Frank would say, and I'm not saying this to hold stuff over you like I give money to you willingly. I just don't know why you're so upset. And the Nijisanji VTuber is saying, you don't just forget why you wanted to expose someone. And Frank would say, I doubt I wanted to expose you. Like, what do I gain from that? Like, I've literally helped fund your other debut. And it cuts off from here. Okay, Frank continues by saying, it just makes zero sense. Not to mention, I've gifted her after the fact. And the Nijisanji VTuber would say, yeah, to me, the money doesn't make sense either. I don't know why you would say that stuff and then spend so much money. That's why I'm asking you. And Frank would ask, what did I say? Okay, this conversation just cuts off. Yeah, so this part actually cuts off and we don't have a continuation of the conversation, but basically we know that the Nijisanji VTuber is not happy with her fan, basically tried to expose her or something when he talked to False ID. And I think because the Nijisanji VTuber was yelling at her fan, right, that's why he, 3 days later, right, literally went to False ID's DMs and literally says, I don't appreciate you claiming it felt like I wanted you to make an expose when I literally said the opposite. I don't blame you for that feeling considering all the evidence I gave you. And yeah, so there was a fallout between the fan and Twisty because, the fan who was supposed to be telling False ID the information ended up saying things that implied that he wanted to expose Twisty. And because False ID spoke to Twisty, Twisty realized that her fan was trying to expose her, and then they got into an argument, which then led to this situation where the stupid fan is basically confronting False ID. So yeah, it appears like the fan was supposed to be the one who contacted False. And then eventually Twisty was the one who would talk to False ID for reasons we don't know. And now it's all a mess. Alright, I have some good news. You know the part where the conversation just cuts off when Frank says, what did I say? I found the continuation. It's just down there. So we're basically going to see the confrontation, the continuation of the confrontation between Nijisanji VTuber and her fan. And we are back. Continuing on from last time, we had the Nijisanji fan freaking out because his Oshi just accused him of trying to expose her, and the fan doesn't know what he said to False ID to make it seem like he was exposing his Oshi, and the fan would say, what did I say? And the Nijisanji VTuber is saying, because literally none of it makes sense. And the fan is saying, I was probably baiting to get a response from him, to be honest, because when we talked, I literally remember focusing on the Aster stuff. And then the Nijisanji VTuber continues, literally none of it makes sense when I spoke to him. And the fan would say, and saying, I don't want her to get into trouble and this isn't revenge. Sanji VTuber would say, he, referring to False ID, said that when you guys spoke, it seemed like you wanted to make an expose on me. The fan is now confused. He's saying, I've literally said the opposite while we were talking, but I have zero proof, so I don't know. If he recorded, though, he has my permission to show it to you, because I'm 100% sure I said this isn't a revenge thing, and I'm glad he spoke to you. I hope it eased your stress. Yes, he does care, even if I'm pretty sure he's lying about what I said. Okay, this is a completely different leak. The previous one we already went through, we reached the end. There was some talk regarding Cuckold Simulator. I don't know what it was about, but I'm just going to ignore it because it's not relevant. So we actually have some clues regarding who the fan of Twisty is. Not this one. This is basically League of Legends. Gil, Frank, Ludo, Adrevia. I guess Frank was playing League with Twisty. Okay. The beginning of your direct message history with this symbol. It's basically a Nijisanji video. Yeah, hold on. Okay, and this is a Twisty fan. Apparently he commissioned artwork for Twisty. And you can see Twisty saying, this is so cute, Frank. Free Tomomaito eating peacefully. Thank you for commissioning this. What is with the Cuckold Simulator? Why does that keep coming up? I don't understand.
If this doesn't work, we're playing Cuckold Simulator. Then I'll know what it's like to live life as one of the people in my chat. Fucking idiots.
Okay, I'm just gonna mute this. Okay, and this is the part where we find out that Frank, Idiot, as well as K626 are basically the same people. Because you can see K626 appears in a conversation that's just a continuation of the previous one. It says the date is 14th of September here. It's the 12th of September here, so I think it's the same person. It's just the same person, right? It's just CL right here. And if you scroll down, it's CL talking K626. It's CL talking with Idiot on the 12th of September. And you can see CL is saying something. She said, just ask, referring to Twisty, saying, do it straight up. And you can see she includes a screenshot of Twisty saying, tell Frank Kuhn to just ask. And you can see the profile name here is Idiot. So Frank is Idiot, who's also A626, I think. So we've been looking at conversations between the Nijisanji VTuber and the same fan all this time, I think. As for this girl, CL, I don't know who she is. I think she's the one who's been helping like the Nijisanji VTuber leak all of this to the drama tubers, I guess. Maybe? Honestly, we don't know who CL is. We don't know her role in any of this. Like, for real, we don't know who she is. We don't know why she's here. Only that she's talking to the Twisty fan, and he's helping him talk to Twisty for some reason. I don't understand what's happening. Apparently, there is a fourth leak, which is basically like just chat logs of Twisty Amakano, I guess. Yeah. I don't know what this is for. I think it's basically like the Twisty fan trying to get in contact with Twisty herself. That makes sense. I don't think we need to cover this because I don't think it has anything to do with anything. Yeah, it's just Twisty trying to talk with a fan to confirm that, oh, okay, it is Twisty. Okay, I think we have like a clue as to why CL was spreading stuff and telling things to Twisty's fan, because we have the Nijisanji VTuber here saying, that's kind of weird to me when like Squid and CL are the ones spreading stuff. Squid, you can see the fan saying on the 20th of September saying, yeah, I don't know why, to be honest. And then the Nijisanji VTuber is saying, calling me Twisty, mentioning Spirit Mates, like Frank is saying, like, I'm thankful that we talked and all, but I really wouldn't have known if not for them. Well, that aside, if you don't find what I'm doing weird, then I'll forget it. I just felt conflicted because it was like, and then the Nijisanji VTuber would say, I don't really care. I want you to be like, not feel comfortable right now. Okay, that changes things then. So CL was not helping Twisty in any way. Like, so CL was not supposed to tell the fan that Twisty is Twisty or help him find out or talk to Twisty. You know? Because based on this, like, Nijisanji VTuber is saying that it's kind of weird that Squid and CL are the ones spreading stuff. Okay, I understand now. Okay, this is the last of the leaks, I guess. Okay, let's begin. Nijisanji VTuber begins by saying, I mean my PL, the past life account. Although that channel's dead too, there's nothing I can do to grow on it. People will not support the company no matter what. That's not my fault. That's just how it is. Frank saying things can change. But saying they won't. Frank saying it's not guaranteed, but they can. VTuber saying they won't. A lot of fans who would be interested in me are not willing to watch the company. My target audience are all antis, pretty much, and the company will not do anything to support us. Frank saying, okay. VTuber saying, even if I leave, there's nothing to go back to. Where Frank saying, what did you have before? Like, I get you can't get with any VTuber agency, but people will still follow, watch, and support. And Nijisanji VTuber is saying, not really, my channel is dead. Frank saying, and even then, I just can't believe you can't get hired at any agency. You know so many people. That's not true. Nijisanji VTuber refutes this, saying, knowing people doesn't matter. Everyone knows each other. A lot of them only talk to me because of the name I'm associated with. Even if it's shit, they are still the biggest agency, referring to Nijisanji. Hololive was the biggest agency. Hey, she must have included the Japanese branch. I just want to remind everyone that we've reached a new section, right? This is the 23rd of September. Basically, this was basically before, like, the Nijisanji VTuber decided on, leaking stuff to her fan, to a drama tuber. This was before all of that. Okay, this is the conversation in September, where Frank's saying, and that doesn't change the fact that that wouldn't be the end of your life. The VTuber says, plan doesn't really matter because it can't really happen. And Frank's saying, well, you also have the solo career in the 3 years. That's something. You're missing the point, Lulu. Your life isn't over. And then the VTuber says, yeah, there will just be nothing to live for, wanting to kill myself for 3 years. As I am trapped in literal hell. Referring to Nijisanji, I guess? As I'm trapped in literal hell with no money, constantly being shit on. I love life, being sarcastic. Frank saying, then why not just leave now, seriously? And the VTuber saying, I can't. Frank saying, if you really hate it, why not just get fired or quit? There's gotta be stuff you like about it. You have a formal support system, you have skills, and even if you think you're unhireable to VTuber agencies, there are other options for work. And the Nijisanji VTuber saying, I would sooner kill myself than get a real job. What a statement to make. I don't think this, I know this. Oh, she's serious. The fan saying, is money really what you want? Frank, it's what everyone wants. Hold on, this is the Nijisanji VTuber saying, once you join an agency of this scale, you close off every other chance. They will not take you because of all the controversy. I am too much of a risk for smaller agencies. I cannot work with tons of artists because of it. And Frank saying, then what about your plan? And you have plenty of people you've talked to from other agencies, right? We have reached a new section. I guess this is the 22nd of September. So basically the previous day, we're going back in time. Okay, and the Nijisanji VTuber is talking about something like the dad who's black and doesn't care about her. Okay, this is not important. Hold on. This is not important. This is not important. Okay, we have now reached a new point. We're going back in time again. Now it's the 20th of September. Okay, who's this? Who is this? Okay, I think she's talking about her fans. Nijisanji VTuber saying they were from other accounts because they were like, you should collab with Rosemi, etc. And I made a tweet like, don't be sexual with me. I already have 2 annoying people, but at least they pay me for being annoying. And people took that as, I hate my fans. I only want money. Like, no, I thought we were friends. And they started being weird. And then the Frank is saying, I get that, but to be honest, not everyone is your friend. Knowing what I know now, a lot of people want something. I don't know. Guess you know that now, but that's just like, so cuts off. We have reached a new section. And this is basically the 19th of September. Oh my god, we're just going back in time, aren't we? Okay, Nijisanji VTuber says, the rules are retarded. Also, making a Discord server doesn't break anything, but I would get yelled at regardless. Frank is saying, I've had everyone tell me otherwise, like everyone. And the VTuber is saying, I can't make a Discord server on my old account and post it. Frank is saying, I mean, I see what you're saying, but come on, you know how that would turn out. You're not dumb. And the Nijisanji VTuber is saying, would I get yelled at? Yes. Should they be allowed to stop me? No. Frank is saying, I don't disagree, but nobody wants to see you get in trouble. You know that. VTuber is saying, then they should try supporting me more. Frank is saying, look, you're right, but VTuber finishes his sentence. Nothing will change if we don't make it change. I try to give them the benefit of the doubt always. Frank saying, I believe in you, just sounds insane. VTuber says, see the best. Frank says, honestly, VTuber says, but they are fucking us over. Frank is saying, I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. Just try not to get in trouble. I mostly just wanted to see if you thought this out at all. VTuber confirms, I mean, I did. Frank saying, because thinking over what you said, you sound insane, like having 2 streams is mental. I don't think that's possible. VTuber is saying, I've been thinking about it for a while. And VTuber says, All Life can do it. They don't let us. Imagine literally told someone that like they don't allow it because you need to be stuck here. Frank is saying, geez, I believe in you, but serious stuff aside, why can't I view your profile even though we're friends? Trying to look at your games. And the VTuber says, I don't know. Okay, and the VTuber continues, my thought process is, should my job really be able to stop me from doing something like this? Technically, I haven't done anything wrong. Alright, we've reached a new section. It's still the 19th of September, and we have the fans saying, yeah, Seal told me after I asked who he is. I don't understand why a company wouldn't do anything, like really nothing. And the VTuber is saying, I mean, I don't know, but I assume they're too scared to fire after what happened. And Frank is saying, why? And the VTuber responds, bad PR. Frank says, I guess that's why you think this whole 2 people thing could work? VTuber says, yes. And Frank is saying, I hope it does for your sake. And VTuber says, I don't really care either way. I don't want to leave, but I'm really considering graduating. Oh, I see. The fan would say, I'm sorry that happened. And the VTuber says, but my manager talked me out of this because it feels gross to me, like I feel like I'm hiding his behavior. Frank says, I'm glad you didn't leave. VTuber says, because it's not just me, it's many girls and a lot of my friends. Frank saying, yeah, Seal told me after I asked who he is. I don't understand why a company wouldn't do anything, like really nothing. Okay, we've gone back in time again. Previously, it was 2:38 and now it's 2:36 a.m. And now the VTuber is talking about her mental breakdown. And she's saying, when I had a mental breakdown and went to Twitch, it was because Aster was saying like he wants to fly me out to Japan, saying weird sexual shit. Text pesting my friends. I went to management. They wouldn't even speak to him. I was really considering graduating. Okay, the VTuber continues her conversation regarding streaming outside of Nijisanji, basically streaming twice. Streaming once on as a Nijisanji VTuber and then streaming as an indie. I think she wants to do this because of the money. Okay, the Nijisanji VTuber is saying, not solo, but I want to do both. Frank asking, is that possible? VTuber saying, we'll see, I asked. Basically was told, probably will not happen. I don't really care. I will be doing it regardless. It is 100% evil to lock us in when a lot of us are making zero money. And Frank is asking, but what about the whole getting terminated thing? And now we're going back in time. It's now 2:28, still the 19th of September. We are going back in time because the DMs are not really arranged in the right way. And we have the Nijisanji VTuber saying, I don't really care, like I think it's fucking dumb. Frank saying, stop, come on. And the VTuber will now trauma dump. Christy would say, I can't do anything, I get nothing, and I'm supposed to be happy with what? You know, the reason I was so fucked. We were heavily encouraged to spend money on the debut, so I did. Because we all thought it's fine. Others made like $25,000 the first month. Like, it's fine. And then I get my first paycheck. It's $100. They took 90% of it to pay off my assets. I have not made any money in like 9 months. Wow, that's harsh. Okay, if she's saying she's not making money for the past 9 months, that means it's like the 19th of September. So since January of this year, she hasn't been making any money. Okay, I understand. And then she continues to say, we technically are not allowed to do anything else content related. And Frank is expressing his amazement. Wow, I can't believe things are so strict. The Nijisanji VTuber is saying, it's greed. They don't want us to have anything else. Frank is saying, I'm surprised you can even collab at this point. What the fuck? Nijisanji VTuber saying, but being here and doing this like speaking honestly, there's a chance I get fired. Okay, so she's saying she could get fired just for being in the Discord. Okay. Frank saying, I know. VTuber saying, I don't really care, like I think it's fucking dumb. Okay, we are going back in time. Previously, it was the 19th of September, 2:28 a.m., and now it is the 19th of September, 2:26 a.m. And the Nijisanji VTuber is saying, yeah, but like they don't understand. Frank is saying, I don't know, it's just depressing. VTuber is saying, it's not the same as before. It's so unfair to us. We make 50% of everything. They have done nothing for me. It's just very skewed. It sucks. Like, obviously, don't repeat, right? But things happened out of nowhere. And Frank is saying, I don't know, it's just depressing. I can only imagine how you feel. I'm not joking, not in any weird, haha, I'm always here for you sort of thing, but I unironically don't mind helping with stuff that I can. I'm a fan, actually. This is where Frank confirms he is a fan. And now Frank is freaking out, saying, yeah, is that really the timeline they, referring to Nijisanji, gave you, 2027? And the Nijisanji VTuber is saying, no, from someone who left. Frank is saying, I won't press, but I'll assume you had no way of knowing. Nijisanji VTuber saying, yeah, like we had no idea what we were getting into. I couldn't just leave, right? $10,000 in debt. I don't think they're evil. People say that a lot, but it's not true. Frank is agreeing with the Nijisanji VTuber, saying, it's just a company making money. I get that. Sucks though. And now we reach a different point in time. Previously, it was 2:25 a.m. on September 19th, and now it's 2:21 a.m. on September 19th. And we have the fan saying, genuinely, that growing won't happen. People love her, referring to the Nijisanji VTuber. The Nijisanji VTuber responds, it's not about her, it's the company, like people who leave for a reason. It's not viable. I'm not saying she will leave, but I do plan on streaming on this account because I could ask, then why? Why join? And Nijisanji VTuber confirms, I don't think it's fair for me to not have things like, Frank would say, Pedro kind of told me some stuff. And the Nijisanji VTuber said, 3D, for example, until the year 2027. Okay, I understand. So she's saying she won't get a 3D debut until the year 2027, which is 3 years from now. I guess Pomu never really did get an official 3D until her graduation, so I guess this is normal? Okay. And now Fan is saying, of course, I want to see you grow. And the Nijisanji VTuber is saying, dream assets, it's just not going to happen. Growing will not just happen, speaking honestly, which I don't mind. But it's more so like I cannot do the things I want to. Frank saying, it genuinely makes me sad when you talk like that. Not to be a pussy, but like why? Why do you think like that? VTuber asks, think what? Okay, and the Nijisanji VTuber is complaining about something else. He's saying, can I be honest with you? Frank is saying, obviously. Nijisanji VTuber is saying, I don't think it's worth it. I'll explain after the game cause it's a lot. Frank saying, I do. I love that viewers enjoy it, to be honest. Like the ASMR screen gets so much love. And I kind of figured you were paying. The VTuber is saying, I think like that kind of stuff is not worth it because one, I've spent $10,000 too. I love her, referring to the VTuber model. Like genuinely, but it makes me sad that doesn't feel like there is much I can do in that situation. I don't think it's worth it to be putting up a ton of money into it because like, okay, so this is her throne. This is the Lulu Deliria. I guess this is Twisty's PL account. Ooh, somebody donated like $5,000. Colonel Cuddle. I think this was the guy who played League of Legends with her. Okay, this is the Lulu X Delira saying, together we scream with our full chests, we hate Aster Arcadia. Okay. Okay, we've reached a new position in the DMs, and you can see here, apparently the profile names have changed, but I think it's just the same fan. So the idiot is saying, you're missing the point, and you skipped over everything else I said. And how did you give up everything for this job? You're still young, you have skills even if you don't think you do. It's not like you're unhireable. And the Nijisanji VTuber refutes this, saying, I'm 100% unhireable, no VTube company would ever touch me ever. Idiot is saying, what about the solo career? You've done it before, right? And again, you're missing the other stuff I said. And the Nijisanji VTuber is saying, maybe in 3 years when I can afford it, because the other stuff is pointless. You don't really understand the situation, so I understand why you say it, but it's just not true. And Idiot is saying, then something to look forward then, right? You have goals, and help me understand. And how is stuff like family pointless? A lot of what I said doesn't even have anything to do with VTubers, it's just general life stuff. And now Idiot is asking, then why not just leave now, seriously? And the VTuber is saying, I can't. Idiot saying, if you really hate it, why not just get fired or quit? There's got to be stuff you like about it. And the VTuber is saying, even if I leave, there's nothing to go back to. Idiot is saying, what did you have before? Like, I get you can't get with any agency, but people will still follow, watch, and support. VTuber says, not really, my channel is dead. And we have reached a location that we have covered before. There are a lot of duplicate DMs across the multiple leaks. And this is what we've seen before. This is Twisty proof that she is Twisty, with Seal here doing something she's not supposed to, I guess. Oh, and that's the end of the DMs, I guess. After reading all this, it just feels like the VTuber in question just feels trapped, but she has nothing to go back to because the VTuber industry is very saturated. There's nothing else you can do. Getting into a VTuber agency, regardless of how horrible it is in there, regardless of the lack of support, is, of course, going to be preferable to trying to make it out as a solo indie, And you can see the VTuber herself was actually flip-flopping between wanting to leak stuff, not wanting to leak stuff. And, there was a trouble between her fan and her where, he said certain things that made False ID believe certain things. And then False ID would confirm with the VTuber, and the VTuber said that's not what she wanted. And there was a back and forth. Eventually, the fan found out that the VTuber was angry at him because what he told the drama tuber was not what she wanted to share. And then you can see throughout the entire thing, she's in debt. Apparently, Nijisanji scammed her. But at the end of the day, I think it's too late. I mean, the Nijisanji VTuber on November, right? Before Salvi's video was even released, before they even know that False ID would put out the video, right? They already knew that something was going to go horribly wrong. And you can see the VTuber in the DMs was like freaking out about this whole thing. But it feels like she wants to do it, but she doesn't want to do it, wants to do it, doesn't want to do it. It feels off somehow. Like something went out of control somewhere. At the end of the day, I think it's too late, The leaks are out there. And normally, if Nijisanji was a normal company, they would kick out Aster Arcadia, right? Because he's the one being a sex pest. He's the one harassing the multiple different Nijisanji VTubers. And, he's been trying to convince girls to fly out to Japan so he can spend time with them, I guess, based on the DMs provided by the Nijisanji VTuber in the leaks, which you saw previously. Obviously, it's basically her words against his words. But we can see in False ID's video that he did provide alternate sources or people of other Nijisanji VTubers telling him about Aster, which he revealed in the Raziel document talking about Luca Kaneshiro, which happened to include Aster because multiple girls were asking Luca to do something about Aster. So a lot of things were happening around that time. And fast forward to today, and you see, okay, Aster's being accused of doing something else again. Okay, so I guess the allegations at least have some weight. But at the end of the day, I don't think Nijisanji is capable of even firing a sexual harasser, because from what we've heard, they're scared of firing people. And if they haven't taken action when the Raziel Google Doc was leaked and Aster was out as doing some shady things behind the scenes, if that didn't change their minds and if that didn't make them fire him, I don't think that would make the Nijisanji company fire him now. That makes sense. I think what's going to happen now is that Nijisanji is going to fire Twisty. I'm just going to say it. Nijisanji, I think, prioritizes NDA breaches and leaks more than, sexual harassment. Because NDAs are what they use to control the VTuber. Sexual harassment, I think the Nijisanji company, they don't see as something important, right? And the fact that they released a statement after False ID's video regarding Nijisanji EN VTuber versus Nijisanji EN VTuber, And they said the third-party investigation will be about two things, which is the issues of sexual harassment and the unauthorized information leakage to outside parties. That means like they think both of these things are wrong. So when Twisty, or rather her fan, did the whistleblowing thing to False, I don't think they care. I don't think Nijisanji cares. And, 2 weeks before False ID's video was released, like, the multiple leaks was basically here already. If you scroll to the top, you can see it's been 17 days. It's been 17 days since this document was leaked. It's been 17 days since the second leak happened, right? Been 15 days since this was released. It's been 16 days since this entire leak happened. At least, right? Because there were other leaks as well. People were making re-entry documents regarding the Twisty Aster leaks. There were people discussing it on Reddit, on the internet, on Twitter, and on forums outside of Reddit, before False's video was even made. People actually thought this was all an elaborate shitpost until people saw False ID's video. And now all of this became real for them. So everything that happened previously, all the jokes regarding Twisty before False's video, all of a sudden became true. So it has become a situation where, okay, people know who it is. People know it's Twisty. And the Aster thing regarding the sexual harassment, it's been known for a while. If Nijisanji didn't take action back then, they're not going to take action now. There is a chance they will, but if they take action against Aster now, I think it will be because of the controversy itself and not because Aster harassed girls, right? I think the best case scenario is also the worst case scenario, because the best case scenario is Aster getting kicked out of the company, right? According to many people who believe the leaks, right? And it is the worst case scenario as well, because if they kick Aster out, they're also going to kick Twisty out, is what I believe. If you go to Reddit right now, you will see so many references between the Twisty and Aster. You go to Twitter, you can see some references between Twisty and Aster. You can go to 4chan, which is ideally you would want to go to 4chan, but they've been talking about it. They've been talking about this whole thing. They've been talking about Aster a lot, and they've also been talking about Twisty. So after the False ID video, everything is flared up, and I think at this stage, I think both VTubers are going to leave the company. They'll be terminated, I think. This independent investigation, the fact that they said that they're going to do a thorough review of company policies and their implementation, and that they are focusing on the unauthorized information leakage immediately after the issues of sexual harassment. That to me says they find both things problematic. So, yeah, Twisty and Aster, they're both screwed. Things are messed up. After, you can see here, they say based on the outcome of the investigation, appropriate disciplinary actions will be taken. Updated policies will be shared with our livers and our community. So I guess that's the end of it. Anyway, this has all been depressing. That's the end of the video. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. This is Terry Nebula signing out. If there are any inconsistencies with what I said or anything in the document, feel free to talk about it in the comments down below. I've done my best to cover this, but the documents are so large that I'm sure I must have made an error somewhere here or there. So feel free to correct me in the comments down below, alright? Anyway, bye.